The final war for Oninoshima, the 0 Point curse is back, and the 7 are in the mix again too. Chapter 6 is so over. While we were all staring at donuts raining from the sky, the real storyline it was unfolding behind the scene this whole time. With the final event coming in hot, we now know for sure that all those different story threads weren't random. It's time to finally connect the dots and see the whole picture. A sign has just appeared at Risky Reels, teasing the upcoming finale, and it explicitly states, a new story begins 29th November at 2 p.m. EST. And as you've probably guessed, that isn't a poster for the next movie playing at the drive-in. From this, we can also say with 100% certainty that 0 Hour is the official name for this chapter's final event. But what exactly will this massive concluding event look like? As you remember, we landed in Springfield after our first brawl with the Dark Presence, where, let's just say, things went a little south. During the fight itself, we managed to snag a piece of the shard that the Dark Presence possesses. But, as we've already learned, cluelessly wielding the Epicenter's power is just a disaster magnet. We saw it before with a brave lad named Daigo, who we helped create those shard blades. And as we recall, his attempt to open a portal only triggered a fresh Empire invasion. So yeah, rocking the Epicenter's power is like ringing the dinner bell for something dangerous that craves that kind of juice. In our case, it's even worse because the Dark Presence knows we have the shard, and it's hunting for it. Every time Homer messes with the artifact, he's basically just giving away our location. Our mission, with Jones and Hope, is to try and make Homer hand over the shard, mainly so we can get back home. Turns out, Jonesy's Rift device got busted after the last event.
Your upgrades to the Rift device better work.
It's never let me down.
To get it working again, we need that exact shard that Homer has. We need it, first and foremost, to get back to Reality 783 to Oninoshima. And yes, by the looks of it, our island isn't destroyed yet. Many hints suggest that, apparently, after the finale, we won't be transported to a new reality, but the island will just flip, as it has before. The fact that Epix showed us Oninoshima is in the loop bubble was not an accident, and all speculation points to Oninoshima suffering severe damage during the final event. I am betting that Homer will eventually tire of playing with the remote, and Jones and Hope will manage to acquire the shard. With its help, we'll repair the Rift device and head back to Oninoshima, where we will have to fight the Dark Presence once again. And yes, for some reason, I am 100% convinced that the final battle with the Dark Presence will resemble a massive battle for Oninoshima. In it, we'll fight shoulder to shoulder with the island's other heroes against the Dark Lord. But how will the 7 show up, you ask? It's possible that, while we are stuck in Springfield, total chaos is breaking out on Oninoshima. We are referring to an Avengers-level threat. At least that's how I see it. And obviously, the OXR, Daigo, Kendo, and the other residents of the island tried to find help to stop the darkness. As we all remember, last season, there was that very suspicious OXR remote that practically connected all the events happening in the 0 reality. Maybe the OXR knows about the 7 and the Visitor, and perhaps they tried to summon them somehow to help in the fight against the Dark Lord. In theory, the Visitor, after the rocket event, can land right on Oninoshima, just in time for the finale. After all, as we already know, all realities are more connected than ever right now. Anyway, for now, that's just a theory. You can share yours, and I will gladly listen. In any case, we already know that the OG events are following a different script, and the appearance of the Red Cube could be hinting at something more sinister. For example, that the Dark Lord and the Spirit Realm itself are poisoning most realities, not just the one we're on. I mean, as soon as the cube appeared on the island, it didn't just shock all the loopers, it split the island itself into 3 parts. But after it lifted over the island, it started to gradually crack. With each passing day, its condition worsened, and after a while, strange sounds started coming from it. Every hour, a drop of some unknown substance, perhaps its life energy, fell from it. And when the last drop fell, well, here's what happened. But that's not the only anomaly we see across the realities. To track down these anomalies, first, we hit the Springfield nuclear power plant. Inside the cooling tower control room, among a mountain of discarded donuts, you can find Homer Simpson's workstation. What's cool is that the station periodically triggers a mini event, a reactor overheat that you can stop. The trick is hitting the buttons in the right order. No need to sweat it though, the hints are right there. Posters on nearby buildings will always show a random but correct sequence. Just pay attention to the shape of the button lights on the control panels and you'll be good. Preventing the nuclear meltdown lands you some seriously generous rewards, a ton of healing items, an epic or legendary weapon, and some respect from the Springfield locals. There are actually a ton of them this season, by the way. To scoop up the full collection of all the iconic characters from the show, you're gonna need more than just the regular battle pass. Bart and Krusty the Clown, for example, are already chillin' in the item shop. So, if you want to keep up with the Springfield fashion flex, use my creator code in the item shop. Don't forget they'll be dropping some new sidekicks on us soon too. So, running my creator code in the shop definitely wouldn't hurt. Moving on, let's head to Burns' manor. If you sneak into his office, there's a desk with a very interesting button. Pressing it unleashes guard Dobermans across the entire mansion. They patrol the area and attack all intruders except their master. So if you want to clear the place out fast and get rid of the sweats, haul butt to that office and hit the button. The Dobermans will do most of the dirty work for you, and all you have to do is sweep up the loot and finish off the stragglers. Next, we roll into the heart of the island, Springfield Town Square. We're greeted by the familiar monument of Jebediah Springfield, the town's legendary founder. If you shoot the head off the statue, you can actually use it as a makeshift defense against headshots. True, the head pops out of your inventory every time you get hit, so you have to pick it up again. And in the middle of a gunfight, that's not ideal. Plus, there are no sniper rifles in the loot pool right now. Still, carrying around the founder's head is a serious flex, and it actually highlights the owner's location on the map. Further south, right on the edge of the island, is the Donut District. Unsurprisingly, the main symbol here is Lard Lad with his colossal donut. It seems Epic wanted to bring back some of the old physics experiments because this massive donut has its own mass, trajectory, and inertia. If you knock it off the pedestal, it'll roll across the map, demolishing every structure in its path. Just be careful yourself. This sweet giant doesn't check IDs before crushing you. Just west of the donut settlement is Springfield Slurp Works. Springfield can now be officially crowned the most hydrated city in the universe. Local Duff beer has been replaced by Slurp. The entire location is stacked with barrels, tanks, containers, and even trucks full of the nectar. There's so much blue juice here that it's enough for your whole squad and then some. Even if half the lobby lands at Slurp Works, everyone is getting full shields, so if you need health, stop by. Heading north, we find ourselves in Evergreen Terrace, Springfield's residential area, where you can find the iconic Simpsons house. From Homer's car, which you can jack, to the couch and a ton of other Easter eggs for franchise fans, there's a hidden gem for everyone. So don't be shy, stop by Marge's to grab some burgers for the road. For those who aren't feeling the fast food, you can check out Cletus's farm. The characteristic green glow of the crops makes it pretty clear this harvest is far from organic. Small baskets are scattered across the field and you can find a decent supply of tomatoes that work as quick heals. This is clutch, especially in the late game when you don't have time for medkits or bandages. Pop one of those organic tomatoes and jump right back into the fight. Finally, we wrap up the tour at Camp Krusty. The loot here is definitely lighter than in other spots, but this location wins in other ways. The whole area is dotted with healing campfires, zip lines for fast rotations, and most importantly, the only flag capture point on the entire map. If your squad is the first to raise the flag, you get good loot and, even better, you light up all enemies and chests in the surrounding area. So, if you're planning a visit to Krusty, I highly recommend grabbing that flag ASAP. It makes clearing the place way easier. Honestly, I'm digging the cel-shaded Springfield Island. For pretty much the entire first day of the season, I got this nostalgic, familiar feeling, like I'd been through something similar ages ago. And then it hit me, this warm, even surprising feeling was what I felt at the very start of Chapter 2. The graphics are less about realism and more about preserving the unique, cartoony style while making it feel modern. It feels like the map and the space between them are connected by the old school rules of Chapter 1 Fortnite. The spots are cozy, they have a vibe, and there's none of the crazy clutter that was everywhere from Chapter 5 onwards. It truly feels like you've jumped into a 3D comic book, looking at a picture drawn by a pro artist. Maybe some people won't agree, and that's their right, but I think the comic book style is what Fortnite needs to go back to, even if it's unlikely. Long story short, the success of this mini-season is riding almost entirely on the map and its visual style. Now, one bad apple spoils the bunch, and this time, it's the gameplay. Maybe I'm just spoiled, but for the last few seasons, and this one is no exception, I have this nagging feeling that the content is always incomplete. Seriously, all the weapons, except for Krusty the Clown's exotic, are just old items. And even the Krusty effect is only on the exotic, which you have to grind to get. Yeah, there are new consumables, but as is tradition, they're just old items in a new wrapper. All those burgers, fish, and whatever else, they're just new models with old mechanics. This whole reskin issue applies to most of the new weapons added in the last few seasons too. That's a massive Fortnite problem in general, so it's not just a dig at this mini-season, but the overall state of the loot pool. Sure, they're gonna drop new Simpsons items soon, but first, it's not guaranteed they'll be truly new and not another reskin. Second, I wish those guns were in the game from the jump, because only one new item at the start of a season is pretty mid. The boss situation this season also isn't my favorite. We're used to every boss or NPC being tied to a specific location. So, if you wanted a certain drop, you just landed there. Not this season. To find Homer, Krusty, or Marge, you have to actually sweat and scour the whole island. You're lucky if they haven't been sent back to the lobby already, because these guys spawn totally randomly. On one hand, this makes their drops more valuable. On the other, going on a whole scavenger hunt for a mythical tactical or SMG is a huge waste of time. Maybe the funny Nelson laughing meme somehow makes it better. The only one truly worth hunting is Krusty, who drops the exotic. So, the gameplay is pretty humble right now, right? But Epic said that Springfield is gonna fall further into chaos over time as Homer keeps messing with the remote. The whole thing was caused by the calibration of Kodos and Kang's flying saucer glitching out during a spat between the aliens and Hope. But this might not be the end for the island because Jones and Hope are still trying to find their way home, where a dark presence is waiting. So that mini-event from the last season was just the prologue to the final chapter showdown, which is going down on November 29th, officially announced by Epic, likely around 2 p.m. Eastern Time. But for now, let's focus on this new island. Everything that's going down in Springfield has one main dude behind it: Homer. An echo shard from the 0 point somehow ended up right in the Simpsons house and immediately fused with the TV remote. Now, the main donut lover is wielding an alien artifact that can change reality with the press of a button. For a whole month, we're gonna watch Homer turn the island into one massive anomaly. I'm really hoping that affects not just the map, but also the seasonal loot pool, because right now, it's kinda one note. Or maybe I'm just tripping? Let me know what you think of the new season's gameplay. Also, they finally brought back the narrative storytelling through loading screens, which will also be tied to the release of new episodes. So, the narrative team and writers at Epic are actually killing it in that department. But will this momentum last until the start of Chapter 7? Overall, I'm digging the Simpsons mini-season so far. It's definitely better than what we got at the start of the Galactic Battle season, where all we got besides the main POIs were blasters and swords. Here, you get a whole new map, a fresh visual style, and one new gun. Despite the gameplay issues, the visuals absolutely carried this season. So, if you're a fan of Fortnite's original cartoony style, or maybe you've already played Dispatch, then jump in and enjoy the cel-shaded map, because all this beauty is only sticking around until the end of the month before we go back to pseudo-realism. And I haven't even told you about all the tiny Easter eggs and references, like the rake. Seriously, for fans of the show, this season is simply goated. If I'm hyped, the fans must be losing their minds. If you agree, smash that Springfield-style like button under the video. And if you somehow missed the mini-event of Season 4, I've got it just right here. The Dark Presence just invaded the island in Fortnite and it was insane. But for a ton of players, it was giving out-of-nowhere vibes. Why did the boss battle even happen, and what's the deal with Homer getting a piece of the 0-point shard and then just dipping? The ending had everyone scratching their heads, low-key, but this whole storyline has been building for 3 months. Today, I'm gonna spill the tea on everything that went down at the event and how we're gonna escape this wild Simpsons reality. The whole event and lore are still spinning around the Chapter 6 main villain, the Dark Presence. Hope and Jones pulled up to another anomaly to check it out.
All right, time to seal the breach and trap Mr. Demon in the spirit realm.
Your upgrades to the rift device better work.
Through that rift, we got another peek at the Dark Presence. Jones tried to use his rift device to seal the breach between worlds. Spoiler alert, it was an L. The Dark Presence was too powerful, broke through, and dragged us all into the spirit realm. Next thing you know, Hope and Jones are chilling on Kang and Kodos's UFO, and things got absolutely bonkers. We tried to pull the 0-point shard out of the Dark Presence, but it was straight up built different, yanking us into the interdimensional void. We still managed to snatch a piece of the shard though. Caught in a loop, Hope was fighting off the aliens to get back to Oninoshima. But the aliens got the upper hand, and we ended up yeeted right into Springfield. The 0-point shard piece landed right in Homer's hands. As I said before, that thing is basically a magic wand for him. He can reshape objects and even grow his hair back. So yeah, escaping the Simpsons reality is 100% up to Homer and his remote.